The Effects of Cogongrass on Fire Behavior in Forests by Cari Rosenbalm. The threat of encroaching invasive plant species in North Carolina is never ending. Most invasive plant species are disturbance dependent, meaning that they thrive following fire. They take advantage of rich, bare soils and germinate quickly, displacing natives around them. Research has shown that invasives can impact fire regimes by altering fuel load, moisture content, ignitability, and by also changing fire frequency, seasonality, or intensity, often making them better suited to survive than native plants. One of the species that does this all too well is called Imperator cylindrica, commonly known as Cogongrass. According to the USDA's Animal and Plant Health Inspection Service, Cogongrass is listed as a federally noxious weed. As a native to East Africa and Asia, this grass was introduced to the United States in 1912 and again in the 1930s. It was used as a packing material for shipping, planted as forage for livestock, and planted for erosion control. In some places, Cogongrass is still sold and marketed as sterile cultivars. Cogongrass is a quick spreader, invading forests, pastures, and highway and power line rights-of-way. Cogongrass grows best in areas of full sun to bark shade, and grows in a variety of conditions, tolerating shade, drought, salt, and even waterlogged soils. Cogongrass roots are white and have little lines that segment them throughout their entirety. The outside of the roots are clear and papery, similar to a flower bulb. Cogongrass roots form in thick mats that interweave with each other below ground, forming a massive colony. When identifying Cogongrass, look for leaves that are generally 2 to 3 feet long and about an inch wide. Most leaf blades will also have this very prominent white midrib that you see here. Depending on its location and time of year, you may see leaves that are upright or some that droop downwards. You may or may not also see seed heads, depending on light conditions and season. Cogongrass blooms in the spring, from March through June. Its seed heads range in size from 2 to 8 inches in a cylindrical fashion around the stem. Seeds start off purplish in color and then fade to a creamy white. They almost look like a bird feather at the right angle. As fall and winter approach, the green leaves will turn to a light reddish tan color, and the upper portion of the plant will remain as a thick thatch until new growth comes in the next spring. The problem with Cogongrass, other than its invasive qualities, is that it is highly flammable. Because of its rapid spread by deep rhizomes and its ability for the above-ground portions to regenerate quickly, fires in areas of Cogongrass invasions can get out of hand fast. Research has shown that Cogongrass is a pyrogenic species in its native range, relying on fire for survival and spread. According to research out of the University of Florida, Cogongrass burns 15 to 20% hotter than any other native grasses or plants. That's a whopping 400 degrees Fahrenheit hotter. This nasty invasive isn't negatively impacted by fire in the slightest. In fact, it thrives off it. Notice how the Cogongrass starts to resprout quickly and densely after fire, allowing it to expand its competitive advantage over other plants. In areas of timber production, especially where trees are young, the intense heat of Cogongrass fires can scorch the crowns and kill even the fire-tolerant species, such as the longleaf pine. Flames can rise over 20 feet. This fire behavior is mainly due to the immense layer of thatch that has built up since the last fire. When forest and land managers need to apply fire to an area where Cogongrass is present, there are some key things that they need to do before lighting the match. First, a manager must scout the area to make sure they know where patches of Cogongrass are, so it doesn't take them by surprise when the fire suddenly gets intense. The second thing to do, according to Auburn University Extension, is to burn when the soil is moist and use low-intensity fires that back into the wind. Finally, because Cogongrass cannot be controlled with fire alone, after a prescribed burn, managers should follow up with an herbicide application to kill any resprout that occurs. So, why is this important for North Carolina? Even though Cogongrass is more prevalent further south in Florida, Georgia, Mississippi, and Alabama, it has now been located in North Carolina. As the species spreads into new areas, fire managers will have to quickly adapt to the changing fuel and associated fire behavior. In closing, remember the keys to identify Cogongrass: thick matted roots with segmented markings, a 2 to 8 inch leaf with a prominent white midrib, and a fluffy seed head that starts off purple and fades to white during the summer. As a homeowner, be on the lookout for this grass and try to eliminate it on your property without the use of fire. If you're in an area where Cogongrass is colonized, make sure you stay fire safe. And finally, educate those around you who may not know about this plant and explain how this invasive can disrupt the disturbance dynamics by competing with native plants and shifting the fire regime locally. A special thanks to these universities and agencies. For more information on how to identify Cogongrass or helpful tips on efficient removal, contact your local Forest Service agent or county extension agent.